Hi, it's Future from Sewmate. Welcome to my channel. I'm going to be showing you how to draft a basic hood pattern. At the end of this tutorial, I'll also show you how to put everything together. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please do. And make sure to turn on your notification bell so that each time I upload new videos, you get notified. Now you only need two measurements. The first measurement will be taken overhead like I'm doing here from your neck pit, and we're going to go ahead and divide this measurement by 2. Then we also need a measurement from eyebrow to eyebrow like I'm doing here, and we're going to add 2 centimeters to it. Now depending on what you want to make the hood for, you will have to choose the appropriate block and first trace around your block like I'm doing, and I'm just going to do this up to the waistline because this is just a sample. Join your waistlines. Now I'm just outlining my seam allowances at the shoulder there and outlining my center back seam there as well. Now adding a facing extension to my center front of 4 centimeters. This is an optional step really because this is just a sample. And for the back pattern, I'll be widening my neckline by 1.5 centimeters and dropping it down by 1 centimeter, repeating the same for the front pattern, widening it 1.5 centimeters and lowering the center front by 1 centimeter. At the neck shoulder junction, I'm outlining the neck seam allowance first and then go 1.5 centimeters in and putting a line. With your curved ruler, connect these points like I'm doing here. And adding my seam allowances for the new widened neckline, 1 centimeter. Coming in with the curved ruler and smoothing everything out. So this is my center back, and we're measuring from the center back all along the seam line to the neck shoulder junction like I'm doing here and writing the measurement down. Repeating same with the front bodies, measuring from the center front all the way to the neck shoulder junction along the seam line like I'm doing here and write down the measurement. Cut around your patterns. Now you should have the following measurements: your head height, which is the overhead measurement to the center front neck pit, and divide that by 2. Then your eyebrow to eyebrow measurement plus 2 centimeters and divide that by 2. Your front neck measurement, back neck measurement, and the total front and back neck measurement. Okay, now let's start drafting our pattern. Get a fresh pattern paper for yourself, and we're going to start with drawing a straight line on one end of our pattern paper like I'm doing here. So this is going to serve as our center front. Get your pattern, and we're going to align the center front for the pattern with the center front that we've just drawn. Then we're going to trace along the seam line to the neck shoulder junction. Now outline your neckline like I'm doing here. Now coming to the center front line here, we're going to square a line across like I'm doing. Square another line passing through the neck shoulder junction. Now get your head height, and we're going to be measuring it from the bottom line all the way up the center front line. Put a mark and square a line across. Next, get your eyebrow to eyebrow measurement and put it on the top line and put a mark and square a line down from there to the bottom line. Now with your curved ruler, connect a nice curve to the neckline like I'm doing here. Now from the center front line at the neckline there, we're going to measure for our front neck measurement. Mine is 15 centimeters, and then I'm gonna put a notch. This is gonna serve as our shoulder notch, and it's very important. From the shoulder notch, put in your back neck measurement. Mine is 12 centimeters, and put a mark. Measure and mark halfway on this line. Get that amount that you got and put it on the side line as well, which is our back. Which means these 2 points are equal. At this corner here, draw in a nice little square of 2 by 2 centimeters and connect a nice diagonal line. Then measure 5 centimeters from the corner along this line and put a mark like I'm doing here. Connect these 2 points with a straight line and these 3 points with a nice little curve like I'm doing. Then make sure that you square this point. And we're going to go ahead and add a facing to the center front line there, 4 centimeters. Square line across at the top and adding seam allowances right round our hood. 1 centimeter for me. Transferring the notches to the edge and putting in the rest of the notches for the pattern. Now I'm going to fold the facing back so I can get a good shaping for my center front at the bottom there. Cut around your pattern. Now labeling the pattern, hood, cut 1 pair, and I put my initial. Adding my grain line parallel to the center front. Now the hood pattern is finished. Now I'm going to be showing you how to assemble it. Now to put this together, just cut your fabrics. Now take your 2 hood patterns, lay them one on top of the other, right side facing, and pin along the whole edge here, the top edge. Now we'll take this to the serger and just serge along the whole edge here. When I finish that, I'm going to open the hood like this and serge along the whole edge here as well. Next, get your front and back bodice patterns, lay them on the table, right side facing. Now we're going to go ahead and pin along the side seams and shoulder seams. Now take this to the sewing machine or serger and sew along the side seams and shoulder seams. Okay, so next what we're gonna do is to take our wood pattern and we're going to go ahead and fold our facing inside the pattern like this using the notches that we put there, and we're just going to pin along. Then we'll take this to the sewing machine and we're just going to go ahead and top stitch this at about 3.5 centimeters right round, since we've got a facing of about 4 centimeters wide. Okay, when we finish that, we're going to do the same to the bodies. Just fold back at the facing piece and we're going to give it a top stitching as well for both ends. Okay, let's go and do that. Okay, so now we're going to finish off sewing our hoodie. So what you're gonna do is to get your bodice pattern and lay it on the table with the right side facing up, and get your hood, lay it on the table with the right side facing down, meaning right side facing, and we're going to align our center back for the hood to the center back of the top and just pin it down. Then we're going to go along and align our shoulder notch to the shoulder seam and pin them along. Then we're going to pin along the rest of the seam until we get to the center front. Now take this to your serger or sewing machine and just sew along this seam here. Okay, let's go and do that. Okay, now so my hoodie is finished, and I also went ahead and understitched the seam here for the neckline. You can also use bias tape to cover the seam line here, it's up to you. And that's it, and I'm happy with the result of this. Thank you.